So, because when we start, we'll jump into full gear. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, next 5 minutes. So, classical music, I have the saxophonist come in. Thank you very much. The less I talk to you, the better for you. So just make up your mind. I'm happy. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we're still waiting for our saxophonist to cue us this afternoon. Professor Oyawoye has come with very big people, very handsome gentlemen. I know that a few of us are in this prestigious premier university for the first time. This is where Nigeria learns tertiary education. I'll remember to inform the saxophonist to take it easy, because I can see that Prof's legs are already shaking. It's another contribution, groundbreaking, earth-moving from ND Western. Another contribution to education, another contribution to Mother Earth. The Professor M. Oyawoye, Electronic Library at the Department of Geology, University of Ibadan. Another big one from ND Western. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very important announcement. We're going to maintain strict COVID protocols. So please, if you need a nose mask or hand sanitizer, call on any of the ushers and they will attend to us. And if you are smiling at me that where's mine, I'm maintaining social distance. It's ultra modern, it's state of the art, it's global standard. It's the Professor M. Oyawoye Electronic Library, Department of Geology, the University of Ibadan.
A quick announcement also. If you need to use the restroom at any point in time, you can signal to any of the ushers or call any of the compares. The restroom in the building can be used. We have 4 or 5, and you'll be taken through as to how to get there expressly. Knowing that we're in the Premier University, attention to detail is important. And I know UI is University of Ibadan promotes culture and also excellence. So I will say this in Yoruba, we're in Ibadan. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò yóò, ẹ ṣeun. Gbogbo àwa tá a bomú báyìí, ẹ dákun ẹ yọ̀ǹda kẹ́ ẹ bomú o. Àwa tá a sì nílò bomú, a lè pa àwọn obìnrin tó wọ àwọ̀ ewé yìí, wọ́n fún wa ní bomú àti nǹkan tá a lè fi nu ọwọ́. Sanitizer Yoruba, kí ni sanitizer? Inuwo is not this thing. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ẹ ṣeun, a kú ìdìde o, àsìkò sùúrù náà. I'll hand you over again to Tunde Caxton Martins to continue to drive this craft, and I'm sure he'll land us safely.
Thank you very much, Bolaji Olariwaju. This event is officially covered by the Broad Corporation of Oyo State, BCOS. And a national TV is also here, AIT. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I heard a rumor some time ago that the most handsome and the most intelligent professors in Nigeria can be found at the University of Ibadan. Now, the rumor did not end there. It ended at the University of Ibadan, the most handsome professors were found in the Department of Geology. I don't know how true that is, but I will not ask for questions. We're still at the Professor Oyawoye Electronic Library commissioning and grand opening. It gives me pleasure to see that Professor Oyawoye is already here and seated. The entire leadership of the University of Ibadan, deans of faculties, heads of departments, staff officers of this beautiful university already here seated. Like I said before, to make this a smooth run, we'll be working with an associate professor of the Department of Geology, Dr. Ibrahim Oyediran, who's been here all morning making sure that our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed. He almost took me in a quick course in geology, and I remember that he was mentioning paleontology. Hey, our professor is okay. Paleontology. It was a crash course, sir. This is, of course, a bright and clear day. I mentioned that we have the representative of the Oni of Ife already here, seated. We'll make proper introductions as we go on. Andy Weston, an independent Nigerian oil and gas exploration and production company. Again on this one, giving back to society, supporting the education of the African child, supporting governments at the center to ease the work governing 220 million Nigerians. A good step in the right direction, if you ask me. I want to appreciate the academic presence of professors, doctors, and students of the Department of Geology. Like I mentioned before, another first in Ibadan, another first in the University of Ibadan, the commissioning of the Professor Mosobala J. Oyawoye Electronic Library at the Department of Geology, the University of Ibadan, on the stable and bill of none other than an independent Nigerian oil and gas exploration and production company, ND Western. Powering nations, educating the African child, and building a future. One, two, 1, 2. Thank you. All right, well. One, two. Thank you very much. We'll appreciate if we all can settle down. Time is a little far spent to sound modest. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to start this program. Please, let's be seated so that we can get this program started. We know it's actually nostalgic when you have a teacher of teachers, a great-grand teacher of teachers, and his students, who are themselves teachers of teachers, greeting him and paying homage. It's a rare one. Today, the geological time scale has to be filled from the Precambrian to the recent. I can see a whole lot of our own grand teachers who are here present, and it's indeed a delight to watch captains of industry, members of the academia, and indeed royalty here present. It's indeed a great day for the Department of Geology, University of Ibadan, and the University of Ibadan at large. Please, kindly let's start the program, please. I plead with our elders, please allow us to start this program. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please rise for the national anthem? Let's please rise for the national anthem. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Acting Vice Chancellor of the Premier University, University of Ibadan, Professor Ekola, FNAL, and the Chairman of Directors, ND Western, I welcome you all to this all-important and great event. Can we please give ourselves a round of applause, please? Geology, University of Ibadan. I did that introduction to make you note that I'm indeed very proud to be here today. In our midst today, we have the full time scale geologically represented here. And if you happen to be part of that history, then you will feel very nice to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, without wasting so much time, I want to give a hi to the representative of the Vice Chancellor of the Premier University, in person, or the first female professor of psychiatry in this country, current Provost College of Medicine, Professor Olayinka Omibodu, FAF. Please come to the high table.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure, while I'm aware that he's not here present, but I must introduce him in absentia. This gentleman, who is the founder of Petroleum Group of Companies, who has been an advisor and strategic partner to several oil companies with over 40 years experience in the industry. He has served twice as chairman of the OPEC Board of Governors and is a founding member of the Geneva Petroleum Club. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce the chairman, Board of Directors, ND Western, Mr. Samuel Dosu Aworet. A round of applause for him. That's him on the screen.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, in a very special way, I want to invite this great benefactor of ours, who has indeed shown that he is a worthy alumnus of the Department of Geology, University of Ibadan. He is none other than the 1973 graduate of this great department, Executive Vice Chairman ND Western, past President and Fellow of the Nigerian Association of Petroleum Explorationists, former Managing Director, CEO, Niger Delta Exploration, Production, Petroleum and Resources PLC, a petroleum geologist of note who obtained a master's and doctorate degrees in petroleum geology and sedimentology from the Royal School of Mines, Imperial College, London. Ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to invite to the high table Dr. Lai Fatono.
As Dr. Lai Fatono makes his way, I want you to continue to give him a round of applause, please. He's a special being, worthy of emulation.
You know, it's said that behind every successful man, a man who once said that he is actually very instrumental to the development of this country, we have with him his delectable wife, Dr. Mrs. Toyin Fatono. Dr. Mrs. Toyin Fatono, please kindly join Dr. Lai Fatono. Ladies and gentlemen, I must invite in a very special way the head department of geology of this university, who is also the president, African Association of Geoscientists for International Development, Professor O.A. Okunlola.
To join them on the high table, ladies and gentlemen, we have in our midst the president,
Association of Ibadan University Geologist, Mr. Sam Hoka.
as you are well aware,
We have in our midst royalty, and I would like to bring forward in a very special way the representative of the Oni of Ife, Oba Dr. Adebisi Layade, the Alara Odaye of Aralan in Ife. Kábíyèsí o. Ladies and gentlemen, to join them on the high table in a special way is a member of the board of ND Western, Pastor Femi Balogun. I'd like to also invite, in a very special way, another member of the board of ND Western, Chief Edirin Abamwa. Chief Edirin Abamwa. I'm aware that we have in our midst the CEO
of ND Western,
Mr. Ebere Chukwu Oji. Mr. Ebere Chukwu Oji, please. And so we also have in our midst the Chief Financial Officer, who I'm sure must have signed every check that released money for the construction of this building, Mr. Asfar Uzaid. Ladies and gentlemen, I will not and must not complete this introduction without bringing our own teacher, mentor, immediate past Vice Chancellor of this university, Professor Abel Idowu Olayinka, to please join them on the high table. Ladies and gentlemen, the special being himself, the person for whom we're all here. This special human being, 94-year-old distinguished Nigerian, a recipient of the Commander of the Order of Niger, honorary citizen of Lubbock, Texas, USA, first professor of geology in Africa, former member of council of several institutions, our own Aremo Professor Moshobalaje Oyawoye. Baba, please bring Baba to the high table, please. You can see that we have high tables and perhaps we have higher tables. Baba's seat is the highest table here today. A round of applause for Baba Oyawoye. Ladies and gentlemen, we have several distinguished personalities here, and I will just want to mention a few before we go to the next item. But before that, to join them on the high table, we have in our midst the Pro-Chancellor of the University of Osun, who is also the Chairman, Association of Pro-Chancellor of State Universities, Malam Yusuf Olaoluwali, SAN. Please join them on the high table, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, like I indicated to you, we have several distinguished personalities here, and I'd like to just mention some of them. We have in our midst the Dean of the Faculty of Science, our own faculty, the faculty hosting today's event, Professor A.A. Bakari. Also in our midst, we have the Vice Chancellor of the University of Osun, Professor Labo Pokuola. Ladies and gentlemen, I noticed the presence of the President of the Hockey Federation of Nigeria, who also is in DG, Nigerian Mining Cadastral Office, and immediate past President of the Nigerian Mining and Geosciences Society, Engineer O.S. Uncom. A round of applause for him. Assisted by his side is a distinguished alumnus, Mr. Jim Orife. Also, I can see our own Professor S.S. Dada. A round of applause for him. Without wasting too much of our time, I'd like to invite my own head of department, the special head of department, the only head of department who has a lift working in his complex. In fact, we now have the Department of Geology complex. It's no longer just a single building. I'm not sure there's any department anywhere in this country that is as endowed as the Department of Geology, University of Ibadan. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite my head of department. You know he's my employer, so I have to. Professor O.A. Okunlola.
Thank you very much, Bora. That does not mean I will push your promotion papers. So you can hail me from morning till tomorrow. Sometimes one is overwhelmed by some occasions, but I think I refuse to be overwhelmed today. Sometimes you may not even know where to start, but I think one will just, first of all, start by thanking the Almighty God who had made this occasion to be today. To God be all the glory. My task is a very simple one, but then looks simple, but sometimes somehow it looks a little bit difficult because you wouldn't know how to welcome enough all the arrays of distinguished personalities, stars of Nigeria, hope of Nigeria, those who have made Nigeria, those who are still making Nigeria that are here today. But I think I'll just do a bit of what I have to do, and I believe the MCs will help me. The Vice Chancellor, ably represented by my sister, not just academic sister, but also family sister, Professor Omibodo, distinguished psychiatrist, and I think easily one of the best in Africa. I appreciate it. And the Provost of the College of Medicine, University of Ibadan. I also acknowledge all the principal officers here, University of Ibadan. I can see the representative of the librarian, also the Dean of Science, and all the others. I appreciate you. The Vice Chancellor had to, of course, we know we have just finished an exercise, so they have to travel, but is ably represented. I also appreciate the Dean of Science, Professor S.B. Bakari, who is here. He's here. Please stand up for record. Okay. We appreciate you, sir. I also welcome the immediate past Vice Chancellor, Professor Idowu Olayinka, is here, who is now one of my staff. It's a round of applause for this accomplishment. I also recognize, just within the purview of this welcome address, the Vice Chancellor of Osun State University, Professor Labo Ubola. Didn't know whether you were recognized. Please, a round of applause. Labo. Of course, I've been always looking for how to cause some trouble, but somehow I've been able to evade trouble. But let everybody know that if trouble comes my way, I have a son who has been my son for the past 20 years and is ready to take anybody on. Laulu, I appreciate you. You are here. Malam Laulu Ali, he has been the legal advisor of the Nigerian Mining and Geosciences Society. Nobody contests against him. The ND Western team, I don't know how to thank you enough to welcome you, but I appreciate the chairman. I appreciate all the members of the board of directors that are here. And also, very good friend and younger brother, Eberi, a humble one. If I is the only one, we both are here, so it's very special. You're very much welcome. I also appreciate, of course, the mover of the event of today. Without God using him, I don't think we will be here today. Dr. and Mrs. Lai Fatono, welcome you. Oh, I like Dr. Fatono. Doesn't smile too much. But beneath that non-smiling is power. So you don't need to smile. The IPP of NMGS is also here, immediate past president. of Nigerian Mining and Geoscience Society. In fact, is the only honorary alumni of our department. And it's not a title I gave him, it's from the university. That's Engineer Simon Nkom, who is the Director General of the Mining Cadastre Office of the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development. Once you see the minister, you have seen him. And nobody gets a license to mine in this country without passing through him. So you can see why I'm close to him. I thank the KBSC and welcome him here, the representative of your Oni of FIFA. We recognize you. My Baba, Professor Badejoko, yesterday you said you'll be here and you are here today. Mommy, thank you. Thank you, Prof. You're welcome. And most importantly, I'm leaving Oni Egunla Longbeyin. That's how we translate. They said it's the big masquerade that is always mentioned last. And that's our Baba, Oyawoye. I don't know how to introduce him. I mean, I think my mouth is not big enough to introduce it. But I will just know that everybody here recognizes you. It is because of, listen down, it's because of you that we are here. I want to also recognize all the alumni of University of Ibadan, Geology Department, that are here today. These are the people that makes running of the department very easy, and had made the Department of Geology an envy of many departments in the University of Ibadan. Even my dean has been clamoring that I should rent a space for him there, and I said, no way. So I know only on one condition, he will retain my file. Any file I take there, but I will reconsider. So I want to recognize all the alumni that are here, starting with the president of the AIUG, Mr. Sam Coker, our erudite Professor Rahman. Professor Rahman, you are highly recognized. The immediate past or the past presidents of the AIUG, Mr. Jim Urife is here. I appreciate you. Please, if you are an alumni of the Geology Department, stand up for recognition. This is your day. Without you, we won't be here. Please, let's clap for these great scientists. They've made their mark and they are still making their mark. Thank you very much. Please be seated. The Geology Department appreciates you. There are those I've not recognized. Please, it's not because I don't want to, because I'm not brilliant. Maybe next time I will go and do school start again so that I will be more brilliant. But I appreciate everybody, all the staff of the Geology Department, the greatest staff you can ever wish for to work with. We appreciate you. So it's a great pleasure and privilege on an occasion like this to make a few remarks concerning the occasion of today. A brief historical detour reveals that the Department of Geology was established in 1959 as a sub-department attached to the Department of Geography, and it subsequently developed into an independent department that has expanded into a major teaching and research department in the Faculty of Science. And it produced the first set of Nigerian trained geologists in 1963. Geology being the bedrock of all earth-related subjects. And somebody even said to be the bedrock of some heavenly related subjects. Because when we get to heaven, we are told all the foundations of heaven. Go to the book of Revelation. Displayed with gemstones, sapphire, onyx, beryl, everyone. So we are relevant both here on earth and in heaven. A round of applause for every geologist here. So being a bedrock, it has served to provide the foundation in the understanding of the earth and its constituents, not only to students of geology, but also to students and scholars of other disciplines that study or interact with the earth in the following areas: chemistry, archaeology, agronomy, botany, zoology, civil engineering, petroleum engineering, and others. And this department has taught thousands of students from these various departments over the years. So not only our students, but students from all these other departments over the years. And the department has been known for producing qualified and dynamic geoscientists whose services and products have contributed immensely to oil and gas exploration and mining, groundwater resources evaluation and development, as well as the overall economic growth and development of the country at large. The vision of the department is very clear, very clear. It's to be a world-class center of excellence in training, research, and services in the geosciences. And we are gradually getting there. So it's worthy to note that the leadership role of the department in geological sciences training has been recognized over the years. But again, it's notable to mention that in 1981, with the establishment of the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, program postgraduate training in geology, in Africa, this department was chosen to be the leader and the center of the training of this program. And that program produced hundreds of postgraduate students from Nigeria and other African countries who are trained in mineral exploration, applied geochemistry, and applied geophysics. Many of those who are trained in many African countries today, and even outside. Sometimes when I travel, I met this man who is from Sri Lanka. I can't pronounce his name because his name, the Sri Lankan names are so long. And he started mentioning all the names of the lecturer. Mentioned Professor Badejoko, Professor Ilueze, Professor Oyawoye, that he has just left. I said, you did your program. I did my postgraduate in UA. He heads the Department of Geology in the main university in Sri Lanka. As a further acknowledgement of the leadership role of the department in training of geoscientists, the department was also given the opportunity of hosting 2 programs of the recently established Institute of Life and Earth and Life Sciences, Paul Lacey, a center of excellence of the Pan-African University, established and funded by the African Union Commission at the University of Ibadan. The department is currently hosting the MSc and PhD programs in both petroleum geosciences and mineral exploration. This program till date has produced not 10, over 15, I was just corrected today, PhD and 30 MSc from 12 African nations. And the current population of African students from about 18 African countries that we have currently undergoing training in the department now is about 45. Many of them are here seated today. This department has trained over 3,000 students and have graduated from the department since 1963. And these alumni of ours, and we have seen few of them today, are the key professionals who have discovered and developed minerals reserves, both solid and hydrocarbon-based, for various mining and other related extractive establishments within and outside the country, such as covering the public service, the private industry, and the academia. Ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to pay a well-deserved tribute to the past 13 heads of department that have steered the ship of this department till date. And the highly devoted staff over the years. Some are no more with us today, but their contributions shine like 1,000 stars that cannot be diminished. They all deserve our kudos for the heights currently attained by the department. The journey to today's event, well, started maybe in 2013 during the headship of Professor M.N. Tijani, who conceived of a building in honor of Baba Oyawoye. And when he shared the idea, all the staff members were excited. And it was then promptly shared with the alumni of the department. That's the AIUG. Efforts were made to begin contribution. The enthusiasm was high, but the actual response in terms of monetary value was low. I remember I contributed a very great sum of 5,000 naira. I think they used it to buy 2 bags of cement. And my immediate past vice chancellor, who was richer than all of us, also contributed 50,000 naira. And later he added a big sum. And then so many, but it went to the foundation level. And then, well, we were thinking, how will it go up? I could see my friend, Professor Tijani, growing older every day. So I said, you better don't worry yourself. But somehow, the efforts of Baba Oyawoye himself was commendable. And I think he deserves a round of applause because he's also involved, was also very much involved. And he rallied around some associates to support. And we're going to honor 1 or 2 of those associates today, who also just lifted us up, I think with a sum of 5 million naira at that time, which was something very substantial. And I think is Alaji Ibrahim, sorry. Yeah, thank you. I recognize him today. I don't know whether he's here. Okay. And, but the timely and gigantic intervention of Dr. Lai Fatono, FNMGS, FNAPE, however, changed the whole scenario. A round of applause for him. And I say gigantic because the incoming vice chancellor always feels threatened by the height of this building because we'll be looking directly into his office in chemistry department. And also, the edifice has added not only to the beauty of the University of Ibadan, but to the content of academic delivery in the University of Ibadan, which is most important. His kind benefaction through ND Western Limited that virtually funded the building from the initial foundation, and like I said, the early floor levels to a 4-story edifice today is worthy of our immense gratitude. Another round of applause for ND Western. The alumni of the department collectively and singularly are also heartily acknowledged for their great efforts concerning the actualization of this dream. They also contributed in kind. They virtually, over all the running around, they didn't give the department stress. And then we were interfacing department, AIUG, and ND Western, and we can see the results today. So it has become a 4-story edifice today that is worthy of our immense gratitude. And then the varied interventions over the years of the alumni in the development of the department is noteworthy. It's noteworthy. They have done a lot. To get to our petrographic lab is world class. The alumni donated all the microscopes at least a functional one, more than 30 that we have today. I have the privilege of being the president of Geology Society of Africa to have visited 20 departments of geology till date in Africa, different countries. And what I see in our petrographic and some of our labs it's much, much better than most of what we have in African universities, and even some that are in Europe, all because of the alumni. And we can also see their efforts today. Individually, they have donated prizes. I remember, and it's on record, the Agagus, the Arios, the Temes, the Orifes, the Malomos, and many more that will be added to it. And of course, those who intervene. Students want to go for conference, staff want to go for conference. They will just come in and say, okay, I'm going to sponsor 20 students. I'm going to sponsor 10 staff. I mean, the Odederes, I appreciate you today. The Koledoyes, Professor Rahman, who will come to your office at 5 p.m. and we say, double president, the HOD himself, you have to listen to him. He has been a very wonderful supporter. Sometimes I wonder what OAU will do for him. He's more here than there. Praise. I appreciate him. Professor Rahman, Latipo has done a lot, and many of them to see that our library is of high grade, facilitated the donation of some books. I saw him here. Dr. Ladipo, you are welcome and we appreciate you. Please stand up for recognition. Thank you so much. You did a lot. And then, one other notable thing that surprised us and we are immensely grateful for was one of our alumni who passed on recently, I think late last year, Chief Oworu, that I fondly called him Egbon Bob. He passed on and he bequeathed all his books and his mineral collections to the Department of Geology. We've collected them. It has enriched our library. So we appreciate them. And many class sets, like 1993 to 1994, 1990s, the Koledo years, they have made sure that all our classrooms are digital classrooms with internet connection. We can talk to anybody anywhere in the world. We receive lectures. Students receive lectures in their classrooms from Canada, from US. In fact, all the PAU students, most of their lecturers, half of their lecturers are outside Nigeria. It's an international program, and none of them comes to UI to deliver. So they deliver from US, they deliver from Canada, they deliver from Kenya, and they sit in their office and receive instructions. So it's all our classrooms are internet connected, and we appreciate the different class sites who have been doing this. Shola Falano is also here. Recently, he made a big donations for the students, and so many that we continue to appreciate. I won't forget my younger sister, because it's very important. Some of the stories we are telling today, there are some who are the background. That look, Prof, not the best way to do it is to start an alumni AIUG WhatsApp group and begin to push this Oyawoye issue. And that's Temi Koka. He's not here today. He did a lot in that direction. Efforts may not be so visible, but some of us know that they were little seeds that formed the foundation of what we are seeing today. A round of applause for Temi. He's not here. And many of our students, we appreciate you. Finally, but like I said, we are like Oliver Twist. We covet more. In order to make our department a world-class department, we've got a world-class library now. Nobody, just like Bora said, I don't think there's any university in Nigeria that can boast of the very much. And we covet more. We still need some analytical equipment that can now make us, with what we have, our classrooms, all our labs, we are on 24 hours electricity. And I want to challenge any department in UI who can boast of 3 world-class generators like we are. 100 kVA, 50 kVA, 30 kVA. My dean, sir, a round of applause for geology. Thank you. And not only that, even when the generators are not working and NEPA is up, we have connected every classroom, every lecturer's room with an inverter, maybe remaining 1 or 2, that they work 24 hours. That's why in geology, you see us at 10 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m. Cars are still full there, and we're still working, even till 9, the 24-hour electricity. But in order to make us really now comparable to what I saw in Oxford and Harvard, we need these 3 important analytical equipments. That's an XRD, an X-ray diffractogram, an XRF. If we have this, and then a scanning electron microprobe. If we are able to have this, it will reduce the capital flight of our students a lot. They still spend, some of them, the last PhD set and MSc, collectively, they will have spent close to about 6 to 10 million to analyze for these samples in Canada, in AXE lab. But we can have these labs here. We can have these equipments. We can maintain them. We have electricity constantly. We have well-trained world-class staff that got their degrees, BSc, PhD, from all these world-class universities. They are used to these equipment. So we plead for more assistance in this direction. Before I go and sit down, I just, on behalf of the department, and this is what my colleagues in the department said I should just do, to recognize and just appreciate them with this small token. May I please, with your indulgence, to call on the Niger Delta Western Nigeria Limited, or Niger Delta Western Nigeria Limited, to appreciate you with this plaque of honor, please, on behalf of the Department of Geology. I don't know. Just to say thank you. You know, silver and gold, we don't have. But what I have, I give unto you. Just hang it in your office. Oh, this is departmental photographer, official. Yeah, please know your deed quickly. Thank you. Also, Dr. Oyawoye Fatono. Dr. Oyawoye Fatono, please.
Sorry.
Dr. Abdul Wahab Ibrahim Primo. Abdul Wahab Ibrahim. Before I close, I will just appreciate my dear brother there who had just come to receive this award. Very close brother of mine. That's been our link between us and the Oyawoye family, and he's so close to us in the department. Itibi Oyawoye. Please also stand up for recognition. Finally, it is hope that the generations of students, researchers, explorers in the geosciences and related disciplines will benefit from the state-of-the-art facility that this building offers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Another round of applause for my head of department.
Ladies and gentlemen, you must realize that when you are a happy man, you want to exude this happiness in several ways.
I'm not aware that there's any head of department who is happier than Professor O.A. Okunlola. A round of applause for him. Before I go to the next item, ladies and gentlemen, I would have been committing a crime
If I didn't recognize our former head of department, a father in the media.
Professor T.A. Badejoko. A round of applause for Baba. Baba is here with mommy. This is a round of applause for them. They are always here for us. Ladies and gentlemen, the Moshabalaje Oyawoye E-Library Complex is going to service students. And the university is in existence because students are here. We have in our midst our own Dean of Students, Professor Keye Abiono. Professor Keye Abiono, please stand over recognition. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm told we have government in our midst, and I will not want to end this program without inviting the Honorable Commissioner for Environment and Natural Resources, who is also the chairman for your State Mineral Development Agency, Honorable Abiodun Oni, to please join them on the high table. A round of applause for Honorable Abiodun. Most welcome, sir. Indeed, very grateful. I must inform you that Honorable Abiodun Oni himself is a geologist. I will use that to harass him and tell him that we would expect so much more from him as a distinguished alumnus of this department. Perhaps the XRD equipment will come from that end. Ladies and gentlemen, we have in our midst and special way the Dean of the Faculty of Technology, Professor Fako Lujo. I'm also aware that we have one of our benefactors, the Executive Director, Damatan, Mrs. Dasola Kole-Doye. One of our associate geologists, who is also the wife of our own teacher and mentor, Dr. Mrs. Wumi Olayinka. Please stand up for recognition now. These people are special. Anywhere Baba goes, they go with him. I'd like to please ask all members of our Descendants Union, and indeed all sons and daughters of OFA who are here present, to please stand up for recognition. All members of the team. Eshe Adupe, Ọlọ́run á bá dúró tì yín. Gbogbo bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń dúró tì bàbá, Ọlọ́run ò ní fi yín sílẹ̀ nígbà kankan. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to invite the CEO of ND Western, Mr. Eberechukwu Orji, for the ND Western opening remarks. Mr. Eberechukwu Orji. Okay. My partner, please. Please come.
Thank you very much. They say when you work with an associate professor, you will naturally become his student. Doctor, thank you. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we will at this time invite the Chairman Board of Directors, ND Western, for the partnership message. We'll have it on the screen. Please welcome me, Mr. Samuel Dosu Aworet. A round of applause, please.
Thank you very much. Professor M. Oyawoye, our one special celebrant being honored by this special event. The acting Vice Chancellor, University of Ibadan, Professor B.A. Okan-Ola, Professor O.A. Okulola, Head of Geology Department, Professor A.A. Bakare, Dean of the Faculty of Science, University of Ibadan, Mr. Sam Jeff Cooker, President Association of Ibadan University Geologists, students of Professor Oyawoye, University of Ibadan, middle actor Young Jeff Cooker, all present, President Association of Ibadan University Geology. All other protocol observed. Today, Wednesday, 20th October 2021, we are making a bit of story. It is a date chosen by our very accomplished great grandfather of Africa geology, and as he is fondly referred to, the Baba of geologists himself is being celebrated and honored by all of us here present. I, Samuel Dosu Awore, Chairman of the Board of Directors of ND Western Limited, feel highly privileged and most unconstrained by the distance separating us as I join virtually this unique event from Geneva and Monaco. As we commission the Professor Oyawoye E-Library Complex at the University of Ibadan, allow me to disclose that the idea of supporting the request from the alumni of the University of Ibadan Geology Department to move the Professor Oyawoye E-Library project forward beyond its conceptual design stages that it was since 2005, 2006, and the foundation stone laying ceremony which held in 2013 had its further development history and design uniqueness, comprising of 4-level architectural structure. They qualify as one of the unusual tall and high technology learning resources building in the sprawling academic environment of the university campus. We are therefore very proud of the heritage of this edifice brings. For a long time, it will remain a reference landmark within the campus. We are proud of this unique gift to the Nigerian academia. In October 2019, the Board of Directors of ND Western Limited saw the human capital investment potentials of this unusual initiative. It was the major motivation and attraction deserving of our attention and funding, as well as the main reason we adopt and funded the project as a corporate social responsibility initiative. Therefore, and with no reservations, our company used of its resources to endow the facility in honor of Nigeria's first geologist. The dislocation of the pandemic notwithstanding, the edifice as we are witnessing today must be one in has class in Nigeria, equal to any of its type anywhere in the world. Objectively and appropriately located within the countries of Nigeria's premier university and in its enduring geology department, both which continue to support the training of young new professionals needed for our ever-changing energy industry. Our support since then, shown by our resolve through completion, culminating with today's commissioning ceremony and beyond, is assured. Our commitment is to support the upkeep of this facility in the same pristine condition of today, far into the future. The day comes further with the unusual opportunity of having Professor Oyawoye himself, his extended family and well-wishers, and with us physically, fully participating in the commissioning event. There must be a personal sense of accomplishment for him. I congratulate the Alumni Association of Geology Department, the university, and by extension, we all at ND Western Limited for supporting the library project conceived in his honor, which has now been successfully completed and is being put into use during his lifetime. I am even more thrilled by the fact that immediately after my speech today, Professor Oyawoye himself will, in this good health, use of the opportunity of this gathering, be once again the great legendary teacher we know him as Abba Oyawoye will deliver a special event geology lecture on the favorite subject of his choice to you, all of his past students, many now themselves ex-professor and for grandparents. What makes this specific one lecture only geology course Geology 101. Even more special is the acceptance and the assignment of the 2 unit credit by the geology department. All 2 units of the special course lecture will be earned by all past and a new generation of professors. Oyawoye, students, today in attendance, each and together in instance, including current undergraduates, postgraduate, and research students of the geology department, and hundreds more of others joining virtually from all corners of the world, all sitting, listening, and earning the unique 2 units of this ceremonial day special geology lecture course. The further reward is that Professor Oyawoye has consented to signing a personal certificate of qualification for each of you attendants at the special geology course lecture today. Earning of ascribed to course unit earned by this special day lecture will many years on be a well sought after qualification. Such may well be one of its type over issued by the department. I can forecast it will be a geologist educational collector item of the future if you receive this. Do please keep the certificate safe. We note the exceptional contribution and high academic impact this facility will bring to further human capital development, not just for the Department of Geology, the University of Ibadan, and the entire energy industry space for the country and sub-Saharan Africa. It will be international electronic reference library. As I conclude my remark, allow me to wish Professor Oyawoye many more years of good health, and on behalf of all these many health science children all over the globe, we say thank God for the gift of your life, and thank you for preparing so many for the brilliant career they have had, some blessed enough for which today such acts of bequesting is being transformed and reinvested as the harvest, such as the Professor Oyawoye Library Complex. I thank you for this audience and the time allotted to me, and I would like to apologize for my French language contents. Thank you. Yes.
the HOD Geology, Professor Olubenga Okunlola, other distinguished members of staff of the Premier University, the board and management of ND Western, our royal fathers that are present here today, our friends from the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I am delighted to be here at this joyous occasion of the commissioning of the magnificent edifice so well spoken about by so many people before me, the e-library complex for the Geology Department of this great citadel of learning. For us as an organization, ND Western, today's event is a milestone in our quest to create a sustainable corporate social responsibility collaboration model that will positively and meaningfully affect lives, institutions, and communities across our great country, Nigeria. Thank you. I would like to specially thank everyone who made this collaboration possible and who has made it such an outstanding success, starting from the board, ably represented by both our chairman and our vice chairman who is present here with us. Also, the Alumni Association that have worked very hard and collaboratively with us, ably represented by Dr. Coker, and all the people who have contributed to the success that we are seeing today. You all have my thanks. We truly appreciate the unflinching support we receive from all of you in the course of this project. We are also grateful to the architect who designed the building. You will agree with me, it's a beautiful design. We also want to thank the builders who put their shoulder to task to build the structure. We want to thank the consultant and everyone who worked day and night. I was here a couple of days ago and I'm amazed at the transformation that happened at the very last few days before today. Please let's put our hands together for all these people. For us in ND Western, this e-library is much more than a building with world-class facilities. It is our contribution to assisting our students and the academic community with resources that will enable them to compete on some level of competitive footing with their counterparts in advanced economies. We fervently hope that these facilities will help our leaders of tomorrow to productively key into the global knowledge economy of today, and we'll be delighted to welcome some of you into the ND Western family when the opportunity arises in future. This e-library is also meant to honor an iconic pioneer in the field of geoscience education in Nigeria, Professor Mosobalaje Oyawoye. The values of excellence in human capacity development that you represent is a value that we share and cherish in ND Western. And as such, it's only fitting that such a world-class facility is named after a man who has had such profound and lasting impact on both the educational and economic development of our country. Please let's put our hands together for Prof once again. At ND Western, we like to excel in everything we are involved in, this e-library inclusive. As such, we will be delighted to collaborate further with the Geology Department to evolve a model that will ensure that this e-library is put to great use and is optimally functional many years from now. And I will explain. We would like to see the kind of excellence and discipline that is required to manage high-risk business like we are involved in oil and gas. We'd like to see the same discipline deployed to the management of the e-library post-commissioning. And what does that mean? It will mean that we would like to have rigorous audits, rigorous reviews that is put in place, and a continuous improvement exercise that ensures that we receive feedback on how the library is functioning and that it's meeting its objectives, and where we find gaps, that those gaps are closed so that the e-library continues to be relevant in the course of learning going forward. And that is what we mean by sustainability model. That being the case, we will continue that support at the first instance for a 3-year period, and we will carry out a big review. If sustainability is not achieved, we will continue the support model. In essence and in conclusion, we are assuring you that ND Western is not a fair weather friend. We are not only passionate about running a great business, we also have an abiding commitment towards our shared dream for a better Nigeria through sustainable corporate social investment of the nature we are here today to commission. On that note, I want to welcome all of you. I want to thank everyone and really wish that you have a nice day. Prof, I'll be looking forward to your lecture today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for the CEO of ND Western. Ladies and gentlemen, because I am involved, I can state that we are indeed very grateful to ND Western. And we are sure, just like he mentioned, that this relationship just started. We will never forget Dr. Lai Fatana. And it's in that way, because Dr. Lai Fatana also refused to forget his own teacher, Professor Oyawoye. That's why we are seated here today. I'd like to inform you that all our students are present at today's event. They are in their classrooms watching this event live. A round of applause for the students of geology. I can also attest to the fact that that complex, by the time you take a walk, I'm sure it competes favorably with complexes in this right. And with that, I'd like to introduce the contractor that handled this project, Engineer Jamiu Abiodun Adewoye. Fame Pyramids, please stand up for recognition. Thank you very much. Also the project manager, architect Adekola Diekola.
Thank you very much. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we're being very, very, very mindful of your time. At this time, would like to appreciate Eberechuku Oji, the CEO ND Western, for that global standard speech. Quickly, we'll invite for the journey to the e-library, and it gives me special honor to invite the President, AIUG, Dr. Sam Coker, and Dr. Lai Fatono. A round of applause will be welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'll try to make my own speech very brief. I will stand on all existing protocol. Baba is here, is to whom I owe so much. And the journey of this project started way back in 2013, although the discussion of having a building in this premises in Department of Geology went much earlier from discussions when the various alumni were making donations to the department. However, I took over in 2013, and so I am going to make a brief story from 2013 to now. I will thank all the past presidents of AIUG, and we will do that when we meet after this event later today. Now, when we started this project, it came as a small project, a 2-floor building, and Baba laid the foundation right there, 2013. And I was given the responsibility to ensure that the building came live. Now, like you've been told, the journey of raising funds from 2013 to virtually 2017 was slow. We thought we could do it by tasking ourselves through all kinds of levies, asking for donations. We made efforts to see, Baba was the chairman of GTB, and we approached GTB, but they did like everything. Once you leave the post, nobody remembers you. So we were left low and dry. And so we were able to raise some funds. By 2017, we had been able to do the substructure and the first floor, the ground floor, and then did the slab, and we're going to go skeletal work for the second floor. Now, we had only managed to make about 16 million. And by the time we did that first set of work, the money went out. So I remember in 2017, Baba is here, is looking at me. Between 2013 and 17, we looked at the structure that we were supposed to build, and we thought that if it is taking us this long to raise the money, by the time we put a structure like this, it will be obsolete. And we like to walk in the recent. And so we looked around and saw that the GTB had done some buildings there and a few central bank and so on. And we thought we needed to redesign it. So with the contractor and the architect, Dekola, we came up with a new design. And when we presented it in 2017, I can always remember what Baba said. Baba said, hey, Sam, you have not been able to do the one that is 2 floors. Now you have moved it to 4 floors. Where are you getting the money? Are you waiting for me to die? And I told him that the God that we serve, which we all know, will make it possible, and it will keep him alive. So there's nobody as exciting as myself to know that Baba himself is here. That speech which he told me and what I promised him was going to be real. And so today, now, so between 2017, we had to take this new design to our dear friend, I always call him my friend. He calls me Sammy, that's very, and I talked with Dr. Fatuna, and we then made a presentation at NDPR, and thereafter, he took it up, he said he would try. We had quite a bit of lunch on that day with the old boys, and said, let's give him time, he will see what he will do. And by 2019, through Professor Rahman and himself, he called and said, Sam, you are good to go. I'm going to make, if I said, I'm going to give you 200 million that my board has approved. And then he said, how are you going to manage it? I said, well, we're going to have a sub-account of the AIUD account, and we will name it AIUD ND Western sub-account. And then he said, okay, I'll try you with 100 million first. So, well, we had nothing. So 100 million was a very good start. So with the new design, we came back here and started real work. And kept at it. And that was in 2019. And in 2020, he just said, Sam, look, I see you're working. All right, I'll give you the next 200. Ensure you finish with it. And I said, well, we'll do it. But then the e-lib component of it will be difficult for us to do. That the money you've given us may just do the structure. And we'll do whatever we can do with that money. And they set up an e-library committee within their setup. And they liaised with the architect and the contractor. And today, when you go around, see what has become of that building. The only thing I decided to do was to add the penthouse. And I said, when Baba comes, he will take the lift and go right up and sit down and then breathe a fresh air. Unpolluted by mathematics, computer science, just only you up there. So with that, we've done the building. Everything is done. And all I can do, MC, please come and invite Baba to no.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I hope to go with Baba to the penthouse and breathe in fresh air, unpolluted by computer science. I heard that mathematics and botany. That was the voice of the HOD, ladies and gentlemen.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to be disputed if this has happened before, but I'm aware that, like I informed you earlier, we're making history. A 94-year-old geoscience lecturer will give a lecture today. And in the class, the course is Gay 100. And in the class, you have his former students who are themselves teachers of teachers. I know Professor S.S. Dada is here. Mr. Jim Orife is here. Dr. Ladipo is here. And the Egula himself, Professor Omar Rahman, is here. And then we have the very recent sediments, or before then, the Cretaceous, then the recent. We are trying to get Baba ready for this all-important lecture, which is a milestone. If you are not here, then you can't be anywhere. Please, let's give ourselves a round of applause for being students. Let me tell you the importance. I was not taught by Baba directly. Baba's students taught me. But today, Baba will be teaching me. So I can count myself very lucky. I've been informed by the head of the department, who is the chief examiner, that there is a certificate for this course, GY 100. If you pass mark is 70. Okay. Pass mark is 70. You have one there.
historic class is about to start. The lecturer is here present. First professor of geology in Africa, former president of Geological Society of Africa, Professor Oyawoye, who is a honorary doctoral degree of science holder of the University of Ibadan, something Dr. Life Factor shares with his teacher, the whole concept.
Geology department is, for me, a duty imposed by Allah, which Allah himself has carried out and executed to my advantage. And, I believe in God. I believe in God. I think about 2 years ago, I was passing to Lagos and stopped here to chat with the lecturers. And they told me I will study building and so on. I was convinced that I will not be alive when this building is completed. I remember getting home and telling my wife to say that really the one important thing I want God to do for me is to keep me alive to see this building completed while I'm alive. At that time, we are making a request to God of about 3 months, about 3 years. And really, I did not believe it will be granted. Because at that time, I was climbing to 40. Today, praise be to God, I'm about 94 years of age. I've been blessed with the extra one that I asked her to give me. The things are important. Nothing is difficult and nothing is impossible for God. I believe it, and I urge you to believe it, and never to lose hope. Always asking only from God. This, I don't know whether there is any other opportunity to talk. The way it turned out, what we achieved, the consultants, the contractors, the builders, the owners, and the owners of the property, I think became possible only through the will of God. And we give praise to him, honestly. I had been approached that at this sitting that we are on now, I should write a lecture. I laugh. what I say to, he didn't know what I say to God when I asked for an extra 3 years. And for me, is an opportunity to remember to thank God himself. Now, this building is completed. Dr. Patona, who made it possible, is present, and I'm sure that he is convinced that God had come, had pushed him into it and provided the money. So it's always is, and so it shall be for all people who believe in him. I think my last stopover from Lagos in this building was disturbing. But then I got home and I said, but you've already asked God for this. Why are you doubting? Why are you not happy? And it's for me. I don't know what to say, but it's beyond, it's greater than a reward to be allowed to stay alive till over 90 so that I can see this building. 90 is not a simple, easy year. And you can see it in the fact that I and Baredoko, we cannot walk. we brought we either brought our car with us or we brought our wife with us. I think it's a good experience and a good reason always to be God-centered. Nothing is impossible for God. Look, 3 years ago, I was 90-something when I was asking for 3 extra years. And God was great enough to grant it. Well, you have every reason when you're really in need of aid, depending on your conscience and belief, you may be able to get this. This afternoon, most of those lecturers and teachers who spoke on this made me very proud. Many of them, we produced them in this department, in this building, or in Ife, or even far in the east. The product of this geology department had become God's own right hand. And all of you who are associated with it, I pray that you may be blessed. And may you enjoy what the Yorubas call Orire. May you enjoy Orire of God himself. Orire, it belongs to God. He doesn't share it with anybody else, and he grants it at his will. And I wish that God will bless, I pray that God will bless all of you here present and grant you holy rain in abundance. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Bàbá, Ọlọ́run á jẹ́ kẹ́ pẹ́ fún wa. Ọlọ́run ò ní fi àìsàn dà yín láàmú.
If you don't pass course, then you don't know what will happen. The round of applause for the lecturer of the century, Professor Oyawoye. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a cultural dance drama. However, before that, we're going to start taking the Google messages. And I have the same honor of inviting the immediate past president of the Nigerian Mining and Geoscience Society, Engineer O.S. Ungom. Please give the Google message. Engineer Ungom. I'm going to, like Mars and Father Rita, be able to thank you. Just 1 minute, sir. 1 second. Let me start on the existing protocols.
I think I'm just privileged to share and compare my age to Baba's age. When I was coming from the ministry the day before yesterday, I met with the minister, Architect Olamilekon Adegbite, who is my minister, and he sensed his goodwill. Your son happens to be his schoolmate, though a senior, and he said he wished he will be here, but he wishes you more long life and good health. Having said that, like the HOD had said, that I am an alumni who never went to UI, but he has no option but to give me. He's not from the department. Sometime in March, after our conference, we attended one of the alumni functions. I was seated almost like forgotten. Then I was now called upon and said I was made an alumni of UI. So on that note, this university is very unique. And having said that and came back to the department, the head of the department whispered to me and said, "What set did you graduate?" I said, "Don't worry, when Papa finished giving his lectures, you will know which set I attended." So that's why I had to wait so that I'll listen to the lecture. I can proudly look at the HOD. I say, I've attended Professor Oyawoye's lectures, and Dr. Fatona, who is my friend, and all other professors are here. And I'm sure we all agreed that I attended his lectures. Papa, thank you very much for that. On behalf of the minister, on behalf of the Nigerian Mining Cadastral Office, on behalf of NMGS, we missed your presence, but we understand. And I stand here as the immediate past president of Nigerian Mining and Geosciences, which you laid the foundation. And I'm privileged to stand before you, and we recognize all the presidents then. Privileged now to actually appreciate the role that you have played and then give you a plaque. This is a plaque of recognition for the wonderful work as our past president. And yes, sir. So on behalf of the Nigerian Mining and Geosciences Society, of which I was the president and now the immediate past president,
they are just privileged to hand over this particular grant to you. It is in the recognition of your wonderful work. This might mean nothing, but the entire Geoscience LMGS are proud of your good work with us. We wish you good luck, we wish you good health, and congratulations, Baba. Thank you very much for blessing us all with this. So we will now have more lectures on this. I can probably go out as the student and an alumni of the University of Ibadan. Thank you for the lectures, and I'll use it during the course of my professional activities. Thank you, Baba.
Thank you very much, sir. One of our students who attended today's lecture and has become a distinguished alumnus of the University of Ibadan. Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite in a special way for another good message, and in trying to balance and being gender sensitive, Mrs. Dasola Koledoye, Executive Director, Darmatan, to please give a goodwill message. 1 minute. 1 minute. Round of applause for her.
Good afternoon, everyone. I will stand on the existing protocols. It's a great honor to be here today, and it's a privilege to be in the presence of Professor Oyawoye, Professor Badejo. It's a big honor. I just want to tell each and every one of us, I'm a product of geology. I did not practice, but I still find it in my heart to support the department. We build on what the department gave us, and that's what makes us who we are today. Don't look for money, just find time. If you don't have money, you can support by find time to come and give a lecture. You can bring a textbook, but it doesn't have to be too much money to be involved in your alumni. Thank you so much, HOD. God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much, distinguished alumnus. We are indeed very proud of you. Ladies and gentlemen, when the president of AIUG spoke, he was not supposed to speak alone. He was supposed to speak in conjunction with this distinguished alumnus. However, with the express permission of the head of department, so that by the time he is coming here to speak, and I know the MD or CEO of Niger Delta Western has said the partnership continues. Of course, the Department of Geology would not mind a coaster bus that will have ND Western written on it for field work. And I'm sure it will be approved here today. The whole board of ND Western is here. And I know by the time Dr. Lai Fatono comes up, he will tell me that, Ibrahim, don't worry, approved. Ladies and gentlemen, in a very special way, I invite Dr. Lai Fatono.
Good afternoon. And if you allow me, I would first of all congratulate everybody who has been part of the events today, because there's something very unique about what you have all achieved. You have earned 2 units of the geology department, and
I am not saying something about my colleagues who are the class of 70 to 73. Many of them, I don't want to tell you all they had to do to end 2 units. I'm not saying they cheated. I'm not saying they brought books into the classroom. But for you to have just been in the company of Professor Oyawoye and you have earned 2 units, and Baba has not worried for you, you must be very blessed. And Baba, thank you very much. Your prayer for all of us, I think God has heard it. And if you allow me, I'm just going to read a little bit of a prepared small note that I wrote this morning. I am sitting on all protocols. Today is 28th of October. And for those people who know me intimately, I should not be here. The right place for me to be is at home at Ilewo in Abeokuta. I should be attending the Requiem Mass in memory of my late mother. She passed on 27 years ago today. And Baba, when you chose today for this event, I said to myself, you are the only one who can take a day like this from me. And I'm very, very honored to have been here to share the day with you. And then 3 days ago, a very sad event happened. And I was very, very concerned. I wasn't sure you were going to be here. Unknown to many of you, Baba lost a grandson 3 days ago. Baba, please remain seated. I want everybody here to stand up and observe a 1-minute silence. May the Lord shine eternal light on those that departed. Thank you very much. First of all, I want to start on behalf of all of us, all art students who had passed through your hands, and in particular, the geology class of 70-73. We call them big mouths. And they were a very unique set of students because many of them came out of the Nigerian Civil War. And you took them and you repaired their life. Many of them are scattered all over the world today. They are all watching, and they have asked me to thank you on their behalf for all that you have done to be part of their life and all the contributions that you have made for them to be whom they are. For me, I'm always very lucky. And part of the luck that I have in life is that I'm always given the very easy task to do. When I was told that I was going to say something and that it's going to be after Sam Coker, so I knew my job was done because he has said all the things that there is to be done. But as I'm given a chance to say something, I just want to say that all of us, we are all very blessed people. All of us geologists. Because we are the only ones who can see things not just in 3 dimensions, but also in 4 dimensions. We are the only ones who can see and talk about things that happened many millions of years ago. And we are the only ones who can talk about things that may happen a few more years to come. Baba, thank you. Thank you. And thank you. I just pray that my grandchildren will one day feel blessed enough, feel rewarded enough, that they can do something far, far better than this for this great institution that it is you. You are the institution. Baba, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for Dr. Lai Fatono. Thank you. We know that we have too many more goodwill messages to take, but if you look at your wristwatches, you'll see that time is a little far too spent, and we haven't gone too far anyway. So at this time, I'll hand over the mic to my doctor here, who will invite for the Vice Chancellor's remarks. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite in a special way. But before I do that, I'd like to let you know that we have in our presence the Director of University Health Services, Dr. Aderonke Ajav. Please stand up for recognition now. Also, before the Vice Chancellor comes forward, I'd like all lecturers in the Department of Geology, University of Ibadan, with our most senior professor, Professor Idowu Olayinka. Please stand up for recognition. Please stand up for recognition. Professor Olayinka, Professor Okunlola, Professor Adeyemi, Professor Untan, Dr. Adegbe, Professor Ayola. A round of applause for all our teachers. We're indeed very proud of you. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite the first female professor of psychiatry, who is the Provost, College of Medicine, University of Ibadan, who is representing our Vice Chancellor, Professor Omi Bodun.
The honoree, our very own grandfather, Professor M.O. Oyawoye, the main donor that is from the ND Western Group. I know the board of chairman of board of trustees has spoken, but here with us we have Dr. and Dr. Mrs. Lai Fatono, DSC Ibadan. Yeah. I also must acknowledge the Dean, Faculty of Science, Professor Bakari. I know he was seated there. And our head of department, Professor Okunlola. As we were sitting here, he happened to be my brother's classmate in Government College, Ibadan. Up school. So I took a video of him, and before I knew, I sent it to my brother, and it's all over the Government College groups. I'm extremely delighted you were here. When you were speaking, you are making all of us very, very jealous. But I'm also hoping to get something from the oil and gas. I'm not in geology, but I'm a professor of psychiatry, and I think there's some connections. We make sure you have good mental health so you can function maximally. I must acknowledge the immediate past Vice Chancellor, Professor Idowu Olayinka, a very humble, brilliant, extremely amiable man. Sir, we recognize you and we thank you for all you did and all you will yet do to make our university great. Thank you so much. And because of time, I acknowledge all the KBSCs here. You're represented. KBSC. Thank you so much. And all the alumni from Geology and all our heads of departments, CEOs, deans, everyone that is gathered here for this very, very important occasion. You were recognized and we appreciate you. I must let you know that one of the most important mission statements of this first and best university is to take the town to gown. The town to gown. We want to be able to use our knowledge and our research to transform society. But today we can see that the town has come to the gown to bring transformation, and we're extremely delighted. I don't know what we think, but I'm speaking on behalf of the acting Vice Chancellor, Professor Adebola Ekola, who sends his apology. I know he wanted to be here because he called me yesterday afternoon and asked me to represent him. But he has to be in Abuja. And that's one of the problems we have. You find that with the public universities, the hospitals, our CEOs are always in Abuja. That is a problem. When they should be here thinking, creating, and doing things, they're always in Abuja. That has to stop. For us to experience growth and development in this nation, our CEOs have to stop going to Abuja for every little thing. That's the first thing. The second aspect is funding. We are so grateful to you and all the alumni who are doing so many wonderful things to build our institution. But the truth is, for our public universities, if we continue like this, it's not sustainable. I remember many years ago when we were in primary school, the best primary schools were in the public sector. And then the secondary school were in the public sector. And of course, I must acknowledge my brother, Kitty B. We grew up in the same street. I'll talk about that a bit later. We went to school together. But now, the primary schools are gone. They're finished. The public secondary schools are gone. They're finished. And if we're not careful, the public universities will go under. And we will all stand and watch. There's a fundamental problem that we need to address. The government has, and I'm speaking on behalf of my personal views now. The government says you mustn't charge more than 40,000 a year to educate medical doctors, geologists. That's less than $50. Whereas our counterparts in world-class universities are paying $60,000 US, $50,000 US. It is not sustainable. And this is where I'm going. What the government needs to do is to hands off and hand the public universities to the alumni. All the world-class universities are run by alumni. What the government should do is to provide scholarships and loans, but every student must access education at a competitive rate. The government should ensure if it takes $6 million to train a student, that $6 million must come in per annum, because you've done a lot. One of the problems, if you go around, you will find is a maintenance problem. Our buildings, many of them are tattered and broken down because of inadequate funding. We need to rescue our public universities. And I'm appealing to all of us here who have contacts with the center to really rise up and tell the truth. What we are experiencing is not sustainable. You find that universities like Harvard, Oxford, Cambridge, the government ensures they are always at the top. If we are not careful, we will go down. Thank you for that funding, but for sustainability, our students need to access world-class education at a competitive rate. And I overemphasize, the government should then give students loans and scholarships to access education. I thank very much the donors, particularly ND Western. Please continue to partner. Even concerning the library, we are grateful that you have put in checks and balances. You want audits, you want reports. Very, very important. Finally, I come to the honoree of today, Professor M.O. Oyawoye. Many people have said wonderful things about you, sir. This year, the Kwara State Governor said, Baba has been a role model, pace setter, humanist, great Kwara indigene, and frontline and consistent lover of development. In him, I'm quoting, many of our people, particularly in Offa, have found succor, and he continues his philanthropic gestures even at an old age. Many of the people have spoken very, very highly about you. Even the Oni of Ife paid to you when you launched your book, which was titled, I think it was A Path of Destiny, and you wrote your autobiography. So many wonderful tributes about your brilliance, your excellence, and so many virtues. But I know a different side of you, which I'm going to mention. When I was a teenager, I was always running in and out of your house. I know at least the children from your beloved wife. You had a powerhouse in your beloved wife, the mother of Sister Dumomi, the mother of Sister Olaite, the mom of Kitty B, the mom of Shinyo and Sumbola. She was very much a beautiful person, and she was one of the first headmistresses of All Saints School, primary school, one of the best schools at that time in Ibadan. And I know that she gave you a lot of support. I know that your children continued your excellence. Excellence. All of them are accomplished. All of them. I knew them. We used to play in your garden. We used to discuss. Shinyo and Kitibi were my classmates. And Shinyo was the top of the class, you remember. Not only that, your children were all-rounders because they also used to run. I remember Kitibi used to run for Government College, and Shinyo used to run for Queen's School. And I know Sister Olaite too. So not only were you excellent in the university, you had an excellent home. Your children, biological, are excellent. And your Children, academic, are also excellence. Sir, there's excellence all around you. And we can only pray that excellence will continue to follow you. And you will live in health and strength for the rest of your life. So once again, on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, the University of Ibadan, and all of us, the deans, the heads of departments, we wish you well. We appreciate you. Thank you for bringing a light to your generation. God bless you all.
A round of applause for my Vice Chancellor. And you can see what a woman can do. A woman can always do better. Thank you very much, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like the cultural troupe to please stay standby. They should be ready. While I'm expecting them, I'd like to let you know that Baba's book, Baba's autobiography, Path to Destiny, won the best award for autobiography, best biography of the year. Please, a round of applause for Baba. Baba's book won best biography of the year. I'd like to invite by the National Library of Nigeria. A round of applause once again. We have in our midst the Vice Chancellor of University of Osun, and I'd like to invite in Professor Labo Kokwola. I'm going to use the power conferred on me to tell my professor that I will spend 30 seconds because I'm aware some people have the train to catch. Professor Labo Kokwola, sir, your goodwill message. Cultural troupe, please be ready. Cultural troupe, please be ready.
Thank you very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm particularly pleased to stand before this great Nigerian, a great African, a name that has resonated for years. I was compelled to come here by Professor Rahman. I'm not a geologist. I belong to a profession that's the best in the world, then geology comes next. I'm a forester. But I have many reasons to be here today. First, many of my friends are geologists. Benga, the HOD, Idowu Olayinka, the immediate past Vice Chancellor, so many of them. Kitibi Oyawoye, a childhood friend. We've been together for nearly 50 years. And so I have good reasons to be here. I also consider it very apt for me to be here because of my student, Professor Fatona. Yes, we conferred on him the first doctorate award, not the University of Ibadan, Osun State University Day. And so, like Benga rightly said, I came here to spy, to know exactly what he's doing for this university, my university, so that he can replicate it at the University of Osun. But very significantly, I must say that I envy this department. I'm not very sure there's any department in this university and possibly Nigeria that is as lucky as this department. Because you have these resources available to you. You actually don't need government any longer, like Inka was trying to say. With this quality of men and women, you don't need government. So I congratulate this department. And I was whispering to Benga and Idowu Olayinka that maybe we should consider turning this department into the first University of Geological Sciences in this country, because you have all that it takes to be there. Finally, I want to say that I am a partaker of the grace of today, because Baba mentioned something in his speech. He said it in Yoruba, Orire. Good luck, grace. Anybody that has been opportune to be here today must consider him or herself very lucky. I consider myself very lucky. I pray for Baba for more lives. He asked for only 3 extra years. God has already given him 4. It could be more, but it will not be in sorrow. It will be in peace. You will not sorrow over any one of us any longer. And the remaining years of your life will be richly blessed. We're very proud of you. We thank God for your life. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice Chancellor. The forest will only grow when rocks weather to soil and support plant growth. Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, while we have time issues, I would like to invite, in a special way, for 30 seconds, our former head of department, Professor T.A. Badejoko, to give a goodwill message.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just a few words to back life for life.
Lord, thank you very much, distinguished Professor T.A. Badejoko. We're going to end goodwill messages without a word. My fellow MC does not understand that when we're in the University of Ibadan, a whole lot happens. This gathering is a gathering that's suspicious. And I've been informed that on behalf of our students,
Just before the Onirisha speaks, the past president of the Association of Ibadan University Geologists, Mr. Jim Orife, will also say something. Mr. Jim Orife, sir.
I am almost emotional, Papa. Because I remember those days when we were your students. I have been told by so many people, but I don't remember any teacher who had the fatherly discipline and touch because of the love they have for his students. Sir, you will not only taught your students, them with love and concern. When we went on field trips and so many didn't come back on time, we were worried. Like as if you are actual fathers, parental fathers. And because of your person, I have never left my house for the past 18 months to go anywhere. I have not, from my house, not left for the past 18 months, but today, because of who you are,
And as God has blessed you, He gives you many more years to enjoy your children. You also enjoy this stuff with people. So I remember, I opened the back account because we were the chairman. I told them, I said, because my professor is your chairman, that's why I'm here. I don't do it because you new banks, we don't know what we are doing. But you showed us also, sir, that in service, in leadership, we're shining an example. And on behalf of the past president of AIG, who came before me, namely Chief Eswa Rio and Chisame Wuchuku, spoken to them, and they said, we will give you their warm regards. And sir, they say that children cannot bless their parents. But in the name of God, and in the name of all the children we have brought up, we are blessing you with all the good things we ask of God today and the years to come. May God grant all these requests that we have made. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. We're happy. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite the representative of the Onirisha himself, Kabiesio, the Alara Odaye of Aralan, Oba Dr. Adebisi Laya Ade Kabiesio.
Thank you. To God be the glory, great things He
and open the life gate that all may go in. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. Let the earth hear his voice. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. Let the people rejoice. Oh, come to the Father through Jesus the Son, and give him the glory. Great things he has done.
Thank you. You can sit down, please. That's the habitual character of His Imperial Majesty. Before starting anything, he will sing. And he called me yesterday that I will be coming here today. And I told Baba, you are welcoming the ambassador. Am I not going to be there because we went to America together and we are going again together? He said, no, I want you to go and attend my papa's ceremony. I said, your papa? I know your papa. Do you have another father? He said, yes. When you get there, you will know him. So, Oni of Ife, Oni Risha, extend his greetings to you that I should deliver his message. I don't know they are going to call me. I thought they are not going to call me. So I shouldn't have bothered myself. But right now, it is greatness. It's not an award or a title conferred on an individual, but a feat achieved by virtue of one's contribution to the existence of humanity. With due respect to all the professors, I'm very sorry. I should have I should have extend my greetings to you too. Because professors, I didn't study here, I studied abroad. But our own professors there, you don't just see them anyhow. They are very difficult to see. It is when we are tackling problems, you see professors. So, Professor Oyawoye has touched the lives of many through his academic brilliance and more. And there is no greater honor than being immortalized, which this occasion has applied done for the Arema. It's not going to be the Arema of only one place now. According to Baba, it's going to be the Arema of Yoruba land, which will be conferred on him soon. I wish you long life and prosperity. So on this occasion, I'm extending my own personal appreciation to Baba, because to be 90 is not easy. I'm now 60-something. I feel in myself as if I'm 70. Not to talk somebody of 90. May God bless you, Baba. So this will not be the end of people appreciating you. We will continue to appreciate you in Jesus' name. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
A round of applause for Kabiesi as he goes to his seat.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, standing in for His Imperial Majesty, the Oni of Ile-Ife, Oba Adebisi Layade. Good to have you around and thank you for that time. At this time, we will alter the program a little. We should go to the cutting of the tape and do a tour of the facility. But considering the fact that we want us to leave from the tour of the facility, we'll have the cultural troupe on standby for just 5 to 10 minutes as I invite Bawa Ebeyemi to please come forward and do us the vote of thanks. We apologize if we have taken too much of your time. We'll be out of here in no time. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bawafolu Ebeyemi, a student of the University of Ibadan and a budding athlete. I hope you've enjoyed the commissioning of this wonderful edifice on our campus, Professor Oyawoye's E-Library Complex, in honor of the great geoscience patriarch and the first professor of geology in Nigeria and Africa, Professor M.O. Oyawoye. It is indeed my honor and privilege to be here with the great men and women who are an inspiration to us, the younger generation. Through this event, I have seen the efforts being made to make our country and institution great. I am humbled to give a vote of thanks to all those who helped make this happen. On behalf of all the students and staff of the university, I extend my most sincere thanks to the Lord God Almighty for making the commissioning of Professor Oyawoye's E-Library Complex a success. As a student and young athlete, I am blessed and proud to be a beneficiary of ND Western's social investment program. The company has invested in me by supporting and sponsoring my university education, as well as helping me realize my ambition as an athlete. Through ND Western, I have had the opportunity to represent the university in athletics meets and combine it with my studies. I am an engineering student. Thank you, ND Western. Thanks to the chairman of board, the other board members, the former MD CEO of ND Western, now Vice Chairman, Dr. Layi Fatono, the CEO, and other staff of ND Western here. I thank God for our honoree, Professor Oyawoye. I understand that the great minds here may have passed through him. We are grateful that he's alive to witness the completion of this edifice and its handing over. We pray that God Almighty keeps and sustains him. My appreciation also goes out to the newly appointed Vice Chancellor, the acting Vice Chancellor, the Department of Geology, the head of Department Geology, students of the Geology Department, and the overall university community for their cooperation. I can't forget the AIUG, the Association of Ibadan University Geologists. Their relentless efforts made this dream come true. I cannot thank everyone enough for their willingness and involvement in supporting the construction and completion of the e-library beyond their comfort zones. I also thank all those who sent in goodwill messages. I also wish to specifically acknowledge efforts of people who were the backbone of this event, those who made all the technical and logistics arrangements, and our friends in the media. I once again wish to express our heartfelt gratitude to ND Western for their invaluable role in making this beautiful world-class facility a reality for all the lives they have touched positively, mine inclusive. I'll forever be grateful. Thank you everyone for sparing the time to be here today and for making this event a most memorable one. I wish you all safe trips back to your various destinations and God's abundant blessings. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that was beautifully delivered. Another round of applause for Bowo Edweyemi. Thank you. At this time, I'll have the two tables to please be upstanding as we walk towards the tape on my left. The tables will be led by the CEO ND Western, Mr. Eberechukwu Oji, and the head of department, Department of Geology, University of Ibadan, Professor O. Okunlola. Thank you very much. This tape will be handled and cut by Professor Oyawoye and a representative of Mr. Samuel Dosu Awaret. Ushers, help us here. We'll lead them to the tape. Thank you. The cultural troupe, please, after the tape cutting, the whole stage is yours. At the same time, we all cannot enter the facility at the same time. That's why we're starting with both tables. Thank you very much. The stage is yours. Eberechukwu Oji and Professor O. Okunlola. The official commissioning of Professor Moshobalaje Oyawoye Electronic Library Complex at the Department of Geology, University of Ibadan.
From inside, right? No, let's take it from there. Let them go down.
We're waiting on the members of both tables to join us at the entrance. Management team ND Western are already here present.
94 years and still counting. And this day, Wednesday,
Only law now 10 to 20 minutes.
Please, let's keep that space. If they don't come, you pay for Somebody wants okay, yes.
Ìdùnnú àtayọ̀ ní máa já sí. Oríire ní máa ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ wá. Ọlọ́run gbàrà gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n lólè ìfúnpẹ̀ gba sàrà wọn. Gba selfless gbogbo dídẹ selfless donation tó wà ní owó yìí. Àbẹ̀ Ọlọ́run gbà lọ́wọ́ ẹni tó ní. Mo fi sáìsì rẹ̀ Ọlọ́run. Inú dáadáa nílò fi ṣe Ọlọ́run. Àbẹ̀ Ọlọ́run. Jẹ́kọ̀ ọmọ wa ó lè ṣe tó tóbi jù nínú. Geology department Ọlọ́run. Ó ní advantage of being number one. Ó sì kárí advantage ní ọ̀sálẹ̀. Ìdíjàn àti ọlá rẹ̀ ni Ọlọ́run. Wọ́n bínú sí wa. Wọ́n bínú sí wa Ọlọ́run. Jẹ́ kí department kò jẹ́ department gbogbo inú rẹ̀ bá dáa. Ó sì bá ti fẹ́ àbẹ̀ Ọlọ́run kí gbogbo wọn lọ lórí àmì.
Congratulations to the University of Ibadan and to limit entry to the facility to every member of the team. Thank you. Thank you very much. We can bring the bachelor's degrees. At this time, we'll be inviting the University of Ibadan Cultural to please take the stage, one of Nigeria's finest, and please go. One of the best cultural groups in Nigeria. Honoring the Prof. Oyawoye, the electronic library companies and the Department of Geology, University of Ibadan. Once again, pleasure being here. I leave the hand of the cultural.
This is the library. Is that the library? This is the community. Is that not for? Or is an office? Is an office. This is the library community. They are telling you after here, they are going to stop.
Yes, can you take us? We have every student has a computer go anywhere in the world and get information. So, please.
So it's a digital library that is available globally, and everybody can access it from anywhere in the world. So we have subscriptions to most of all the ebooks available from all the different schools and all the also journals from every book and find of the world. So people can access it both from there and then from anywhere on their laptop, on their iPhone, or any digital. Not that they have connections to the internet. You can access the library and benefit from all the subscriptions. Once they are subscribed, once they are subscribed,
the world.
Yes, sir.
In Nigeria, we have a net over any project.
Those languages. We also have subscriptions to books that teach language. So we do not limit the subscription to just earth sciences and sciences. So we have subscriptions to basically every subject that you want to learn. So we also have, that's why we make provisions for headsets, also subscriptions to all those video, audio books, and all kinds of learning materials. So if you want to learn languages, you can listen and also watch it.
Wonderful. Sir, you are doing very well, sir. You are doing very well, sir. You are doing very well. You are doing very well. How did you learn from
bí àjèrè. Ìbàdàn rẹ̀ ọmọ jòrò sùn. Ẹni bá fẹ́ mọ̀ Ìbàdàn kó rọ̀jà ọba. Ẹni bá fẹ́ mọ̀ Ìbàdàn kó lè bẹ̀rẹ̀ o. Òótọ́ ni bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni. Bí n bá yálé ibẹ̀ ń gbogbo ẹ ló yé mi yékéyéké. Jẹ́ n kọ́kọ́ kí bàbá mi kan. Ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Oyawoye mọ́ gbọ́. Wọ́n mọ bọ́ pamọ́ gbọ́ dídùn ẹnu mi gan ni ọmọ arólú ní perí rẹ̀. Wọ́n mọ ìyẹ̀rọ kí ó. Ìyẹ̀rọ kí ó lọ fún àwọn ọmọdé ní ọ̀la lọ ní ọ̀hún máa bísú jókòó. Wọ́n mọ ìjà kankan títí lóró ọ̀tọ̀ ọ̀fà. Wọ́n mọ ìjà kan ìjà kan. Èyí mi jà ló fà ní ọ̀la lọ mi jọ sí. Ìjọ ń ṣojú ebè ńlọ́fà. Ó ṣojú kòrò nínú oko. Ìbá ṣojú olóko ìbá làwọn. Wọ́n mọ búure láàárẹ̀. Ìkan ò gbọ́dọ̀ jù kan. Bí kan bá jù kan ní ọ̀la fún àwọn ọmọdé ogun ní dalẹ̀ lé bàbá tó bí ọlọ́mọ gangan ni. Ìyẹ̀rọ kí ó ọlọ́fọ́ àwọn ọmọdé ọ̀la lọ mí. Wọ́n máa bí ju dára gbada. Wọ́n mọ gúnugún mọ́rí mo dá sáà kẹ́ríkẹ́ríkẹ́ríkẹ́ríkẹ́ríkẹ́ríkẹ́rí. Àkàlà mórí mo dá sáà kẹ́ẹ̀mbẹ̀ pọ̀. Ọ̀la lọ mí mórí mo dá sàlà ńlá pa. Ìyẹ̀rọ kí mórí mo dá sàlà ńlọ́bẹ̀. Ọ̀ fi rọ́rà làmí o. Ọba lámì. Mo mọ̀ mọ́ jábí ó di ilẹ̀ lápá mi ò pẹ̀pẹ́ mogunlẹ̀ wọn parẹ́ lẹ́jọ́ mọ́. Ọ̀kí ọlọ́fà lọ́lọ́fà. Ọlọ́mi ọlọ́mọ ló kù lọ́mọ. Ọmọ alùkóso ọlọ́fẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ jẹ́ alùbẹ̀m̀bẹ́ ọlọ́fẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ ẹ̀fà. Alùkírí jínpín ọlọ́fà ẹgbẹ́ ẹ̀ẹ́dógún. Akẹ́ẹ̀bà jẹ́ lọ́bọ̀mọ ọlọ́fà àpọ̀jọ jẹ́njọ́ sí ọ̀fọ̀ ọmọ ká. Ẹrú ẹ̀ lọ́mọ aká lé ìjẹ́pẹ́rùmọ́ lákájọmọ lọ́lé bàbá rẹ̀. Oyawoye o. Aláṣẹ mẹ́tọ̀ ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ọ̀kan ní ẹ̀pẹ̀ ńlá wá. Fóun lọ́rẹ̀ dó kò lè dokun. Ọ̀kan ní ẹ̀ pàgbò wá. Fóun dọ̀sà. Ọ̀kan ní ẹ̀ mú màálù rọ̀gbọ̀dọ̀ wá. Fóun dọ̀ gbágbá. Èyí bàbá yín ní ẹ̀pẹ̀ ńlá fún. Èsè tí ò lè dokun. Èyí ẹ̀ pàgbò sí. Kò lè dọ̀sà. Èyí ẹ̀ mú màálù bọ̀lọ̀jọ̀. Òun náà lọ́jọ́ gbágbá. Ọ̀pàpà ń pọ́pọ́. Mo bọ́ lọ́fin dìmú. Bàbá yín dẹnu lé. Wọ́n sọjọ́ mu kárí kése. Wọ́n fẹ́ yín dá lálẹ́ ní sàálẹ̀ ọ̀fà. Àbí lọ fà ó, àbí lọ fà. Ọlọ́lọ́ mi ẹ̀rù ọmọ lọ fà ó. Ó tún wáyá, ẹ fi ẹ̀rù bẹ̀ ọ́. Ẹ fi ẹ̀rù bẹ̀ ọ́. Bínú bá ń bí ọ, ẹ fi ẹ̀rù bẹ̀ ọ́. Ẹ fi ẹ̀rù bẹ̀ ọ́. Ẹ fi ẹ̀rù bẹ̀ ọ́. Bínú bá ń bí ọ. Wọ́n ní bínú bá ń bí ọ ẹ fi ẹ̀. Ẹ fi ẹ̀rù bẹ̀ ọ́. Bínú bá ń bí ọ ẹ fi ẹ̀rù bẹ̀ ọ́. Ẹ fi ẹ̀rù bẹ̀ ọ́. Ẹ fi ẹ̀rù bẹ̀ ọ́. Bínú bá ń bí ọ ẹ fi ẹ̀rù bẹ̀ ọ́. Bí o bá wáyé ní káyé gbèjé. Bí o bá wáyé o ní káyé gẹ̀fà. Ọlọ́lọ́mí bàbá rẹ̀ ní òsùn ọ̀bí. Bí o bá wáyé ní káyé gbèjé. Ọlọ́lọ́mí bàbá rẹ̀ ní òsùn ọ̀bí. Bí o bá wáyé ní káyé gbèjé. Bí o bá wáyé o ní káyé gẹ̀fà. Ọlọ́lọ́mí bàbá. Gbogbo ọmọ Ọ̀yọ́ tí ń bẹ ibi gbogbo yín pátá ńlá kíá lólódì ìkankan. Ọ̀yọ́ mọ láàfin òjò pàṣẹ kẹrẹmọdé ọmọ àtìbá. Wàmọ ti yín lọmọ kú ọmọ àrùn ọmọ dábàlẹ ọmọ dábòde ọmọ kú tí kò gbọ́dọ̀ pa ọmọ àrùn táwọn gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe ọmọ òfò tó kò gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe bàbá yín ọba láyíwọlá àtàn dáńkọ ṣé ń bẹ lálàáfíà rárá. Ọ̀yọ́ mọ láàfin o. Ọ̀yọ́ ọmọ láàfin òjò pàṣẹ kẹrẹmọdé ọmọ àtìbá. Wọ́n ní Ọ̀yọ́ lónìí kárin kásánpá. Ọ̀yọ́ lónìí kárin kọyẹ èèyàn. Ilé bàbá yín gangan ni. Ọ̀yọ́ ọmọ láàfin òjò pàṣẹ kẹrẹ mọ́dé ọmọ àtìbá wọn ní owó lè kó ní ará Ọ̀yọ́ ló lọ bá owó lè kó ní o owó lè kó ní owó lè kó ní o wọn ní ará Ọ̀yọ́ o ará Ọ̀yọ́. Àbútẹ̀rọ ọmọ olùfẹ́ akéjì ọ̀hún. Àbú ojú mi ẹ̀ṣọ́ òdùrọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ó sá. Ojú mi ẹ̀ṣọ́ òdùlé gẹ̀ǹgẹ̀. Ó pé tí mo bá torí òní pẹ́kẹ́ kú. Wọ́n pẹ́ kú ààrẹ wà ló pọ̀ ògo nílé wa. Tí mo bá torí òní sọ̀bọ̀rọ̀ kú. Wọ́n pẹ́ kú ààrẹ wà ló pọ̀ ògo nílé wa. Sọ̀bọ̀rọ̀ èyí wù mí ẹja lábẹ́ ó mọ̀ ọ́ bá lábẹ́ lọ. Èrò àbúmọ̀mọ́lé àwọn bàbá ẹ̀yìn. Ànìlájọ́ ọjọ́ sí. Mo fọjú ìgìdì rí gítà ń dógbìn láre. Mo ní ìyá mo fẹ́ lọ wòrán. Ìyá ní kí n bá láre wòrán. Ìyá ní bí n bá fẹ́ láre wòrán kí n kò jẹ́ bọ̀wọ́ mi òsì. Kí n kò jẹ́ bọ̀wọ́ mi ọ̀tún. Mo kì í má ṣọ funfun. Kí n fi mọ́ rí funfun. Ìgbà tí mo fẹ́ láwé wòrán. Mo ò fò jẹ́ bọ̀wọ́ mi òsì. Mo ò fò jẹ́ bọ̀wọ́ mi ọ̀tún rárá. Aṣọ pupa, mẹlẹ́rì pupa. Arọ́wọ́ kùmí àfin náà mi dé lulẹ̀. Ìgbà tó dé lẹ́ẹ̀kejì ẹ̀wẹ̀wẹ̀. Mo tún gba jìgìdì rígì tó ń dópin láre. Mo ní ìyá mo fẹ́ láre wòrán. Ìyá ní kí n má láre wòrán. Ìyá ní bí n bá fẹ́ láre wòrán kí n kò jẹ́ bọ̀wọ́ mi òsì. Kí n kò jẹ́ bọ̀wọ́ mi ọ̀tún. Kí n má ṣọ funfun. Kí n fi lérí funfun. Ìgbà tí mo fẹ́ láre wòrán èmi ò kò jẹ́ bọ̀wọ́ mi òsì. Wọn ò kò jẹ́ bọ̀wọ́ mi ọ̀tún rárá. Aṣọ pupa, mo tún elérí funfun. Ará tún bùnmi àfin náà mi dénú ilé. Ìgbà tó délé kẹta ẹ̀wẹ̀wẹ̀. Ó délé kẹta ẹ̀wẹ̀wẹ̀. Ni mo bá tún gbọ́ jìgìdì rígì tó ń dogbìn láre. Ìyá ní yá mo fẹ́ láre wòrán. Ìyá ní kí n má láre wòrán. Ìgbà tí mo fẹ́ láre wòrán mo bá fò jẹ́ bọ̀wọ́ mi òsì. Mo fò jẹ́ bọ̀wọ́ mi ọ̀tún. Mo má ṣọ funfun. Mo fi lérí funfun. Arọ́wọ́ kìmí àfin sì mi dénú ilé. Wọ́n mú un délé wa. Ẹ̀yin lọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ bá rí bá orí mọ̀lẹ́ lè ṣẹbọ. Bẹ̀rẹ̀ jẹyàn. Sọ̀rọ̀ nísàlẹ̀ ààrẹ àbútẹ̀ ẹ̀rọ ọmọ fẹ́ oyè. Ìyẹ̀rọ kí ó. Bàbá mi, ìyẹ̀rọ kí ó lọ́fà mọ́jọ. Lọ́dọ̀ bí àgbéṣe tó kálókò ìjàkadì kákàkìtì lóró tọ́fà. Ilé ọmọ ìjàkan. Ilé ọmọ ìjàkan. Ìyá mi jà lọ́fà nílé ọ̀la lọ mi. Pé bó ṣojú ta ni, ó ṣojú èbè, ó ṣojú kòrò nínú òkú ṣojú ìkarahùn. Gbogbo igi tó ṣojú ẹ lórúwé, gbogbo ìkan tó ṣojú ẹ lówẹ̀wẹ̀. Wà gbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ ìkan ṣojú ẹ lówó níwájú ọdẹ. Ó ṣojú mi gbàgede nílé bàbá tó bí àlọ́nà. Àgbàwọ̀ ẹ̀jẹ̀, òkú olómọdé àgbẹ̀kọ̀ àdúrógbò. Àwọn bàbá yìí ní kúure láàre. Kó máa dọ́gba ọkọ̀ ògbọ́dọ̀ dùkọ́lé ọlọ́pàá mọ́jọ. Ọkọ̀ wọ́n dùkọ́lé ọlọ́pàá mọ́jọ. Òkun ọba ní máa kó wọn mọ́lé bàbá tó bí yín lọ́mọ. Ìyẹ̀rù bẹ̀mí o. Ìyẹ̀rù inú máa bí mi. Inú máa bí mi ẹbí yẹn.
Continuous synergy between the private sector and the academia, and this facility represents that. Because of what you also represent, the Hall of Fame, we realized you not only represent history,
ẹ̀kọ́ lágbà o. Ẹ̀bá jẹ́ kàkà o. Ẹ̀kọ́ lágbà o. Ẹ̀bá jẹ́ kàwé. Ẹ̀kọ́ lágbà ẹ̀kọ́ ṣe kókó. Ẹ̀kọ́ lágbà o. Láwùjọ.
So one of the things that we will start was that by the Hall of Fame, excellence is celebrated, and all of the virtues that have made everybody passionate about it would also be celebrated here. Because of the prudent use we needed for space, we're looking to suspend the place. But there is a very good material that celebrates even youth at this point, and modern legends are expected to be celebrated to take the cue from you. Well, that would be operational. Yeah, and interestingly, Eddie Western had made a duty not only to provide the physical structure, very exceptional content, and they're looking again to work with the sustainable structure that will ensure that years down the line, everybody's proud of this, to the extent that the legends that have come after you can also help in the creation of more legends. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is yes.
So, Baba, as he said, and a management system that has with ourselves and the department working together to continuously monitor operation and based on the impact. So if you find something from that monitoring measures, we will provide the funds to make sure that that water and after the system cannot stand on this road, we will continue that support until we are sure that the system can stand. So that's how we see it. So that doesn't go the way of other projects that very shortly, Chairman, when I come back,
So there you can see when we interviewed a few years ago. Please, can you be in your study? That's in your study. Because and then he changed the name. So even then I was in heaven. But that's the end of my grammar school here. It's a community effort. And Olofa then said that he would donate a child and put me in. Then they said, it's under 4 looking only he won Olofa. That's the one I got. And the new school we are doing, my son must be in it. So they look at it and they say, oh. So that's how I got to the Grammar School Foundation student. And then from there, the Grammar School experimented in the class 4. Then I have to come to Ibadan to read the Grammar School. I got to his office in the morning and when they wanted to come out of the office, somebody said, what do you want, my boy? The voice was so big and I wanted to just sit. And I said, I want to come to this school, sir. Then he said, you want to come as a brother or neighbor? And I said, I said, brother. Then he said, go to this group. And they put me to Louis now. And that's how I was admitted to the grammar school, and I finished secondary school there.
After completing secondary school education at Ibadan Grammar School in 1949, his orientation had changed. He found himself in a completely new environment. His head was no longer like a technical. He had begun to live in a society where people were already graduates and practicing new professions.
By the time we finished, my orientation had changed completely. By that time, I was said, just before he said that the atmosphere is we are very confident. We don't think a white man is anything, you know. Now, I'm in society where there is somebody who's not.
What is taking achieve right there?
And what is your advice to the younger generation coming on? Because you work tirelessly and you like great achievement. Any advice you follow?
ìyẹ̀rú àti ò ọlọ́gbà ọba títú tó ọkọ àti ìtúkọ̀ ẹ̀ka orílẹ̀ yìí ọlọ́gbàgbà àkàlà orílẹ̀ yìí ọlọ́gbàgbà ìyẹ̀rú bàbá ìwúrí ọlọ́gbàgbà lọ́kọ̀ bàbá ìwúrí ọlọ́gbàgbà lọ́kọ̀ ọ̀sìrọ̀ làbí ọ̀.
내가